I'm not naked, I have shorts on. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I just came back from doing a walk. I've been in here a lot. That's why I've been doing videos from here more than usual, because it's been like crazy raining for the past few weeks here, like downpouring out of nowhere. The Alawai, which is a canal near right outside my house, is about ready to overflow, and it's full of garbage. Not a nice sight. But as I walked around doing some errands, I did a couple of videos, and they're both things that after I finished them, I was like, I don't know if I can post this, man, because they're concerning things that I just would get in, I could possibly catch some shit for. And it just got me thinking, like, what can be done? What is to be done about this, the censorship situation? Now, I have stuff on Rumble, but I talked about my situation with Rumble before. They upload everything that goes from my YouTube, goes there. However, I can't figure their system out, so all the content is locked in storage, and I just haven't cared enough to figure it out yet. But I have to start doing something else, because more and more I'm finding, like, I'll finish something and go, I can't use that. You know, I've discussed this before a lot. I've had to throw complete pieces away. That's why I try to do them in segments now. But I don't know. And it's nothing bad. It's nothing that I or any normal person would think is bad. It's not hateful. It's not. But it could be construed as, well, actually, they can construe anything to be anything they want. You know, I've done that. That's happened to me in the past. The last 2 videos I got banned for, I wasn't even in. I don't even talk. And the banning, the reasons for banning, weren't even like, I didn't, if I thought it was anything that would have been bad, I wouldn't have put them up. Like the one before, I could kind of see, because it was a rabbi abusing a kid, but the actual abuse was off camera. He brought this little black kid into his office. It was just violently shaking him, and he kept pulling him to his body. And when he pulled him to his body, you couldn't see what was going on, except you heard the kid screaming. So I don't know if he was fucking biting him in the face or whatever. So I thought, well, there's no violence you can see, except for the shaking. But he was shaking him in a way like sometimes you would with little kids, like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I don't, but I mean, you could almost see like it's just an old person shaking a kid. Maybe a little more violently. And when he pulled them toward him, maybe putting him on his lap or something, you couldn't see anything. But that is their people, and they don't want that out there. I ran into the same problem. You know, I've already talked about it, so I'm not going to get into it. But basically, this last video I got banned for was for the same thing. I wasn't in it. It was just Israeli school children talking about how they feel about Arabs and Arab children. And the teachers beaming with pride, shaking each other's hands and stuff at what they taught the kids. And YouTube decided the kids were being hateful. Again, they're people, you know. So, I, like, just don't talk about their people, and you'll be fine, is what I you know, consign myself to that idea. The first video out of the gate today, of course, is about the Nova Music Festival and some of the wacky stuff that's happening surrounding that. And then from that, I go into a thing about race. But these are real things that affect the spiritual war, which is the main thrust of this channel. But there's plenty of people that talk about the metaphysical side of things, and I do talk about the metaphysical side of things, and magic, and all that stuff. But there are people that do that stuff better than me on YouTube. You can find them. I talk about that stuff through my own lens, with my experiences with that stuff. I don't often do like, you know, today we're doing a deep dive on Jack Parsons. Maybe I should. I don't know. But I just feel compelled to have to talk about the stuff I see that I think is evil or wrong, you know? I don't think I'd be being true to myself if I didn't. And maybe that's gay, and who cares, but Speaking of gay, I bet if I put LGBT in my description, I'd probably get a lot less shit. I've never used that. I've never used that card. Because I don't think it's anyone's business. You know, like you guys know, and other people know, you know, just from people who knew me or whatever. But it's not something I look at as part of my identity. I never went around broadcasting it, you know, but when people see you walk around town or dress, they, you know, kind of put things together. But, you know, it was a long time ago. I'm now with Mia and have been for, God, 16 years. And it's just a one gal relationship here. So, yeah, it's very much in my past, but it is a part of who I am. So I am squarely in that group. And I've never used that card. I bet if I did, maybe not, but I bet if I did, I'd probably get a lot less shit. You know? If I was really super prominent about it. But that's the thing, I'd have to be talking about it all the time. And it's no one's fucking business. You know? I don't know. But it's like, is there any way to like, not worry about everything he's saying? There really isn't. You just have to kind of... The thing is, like, I could be smart about it and avoid talking about the JQ or critical race theory or maybe some stuff that the government's doing, life in the dog lane. It doesn't have to be like that. I mean, there's plenty of other things to talk about. It's just that is where the spiritual war is at right now. You know, I think it's stuff people can see. The things people can't see, you know, when you talk about the spiritual world and magic and what we are as energy beings, it all ties together, right? But it's hard for people to kind of really get a lot of that stuff, and it's hard to explain it to people. I mean, speaking of Jack Parsons, him and Crowley would be talking about the same concept, but they would use different words. It can become very confusing. You know, even someone who's a bit more studied in the occult or understanding the spiritual realm, magic, anything like that, there is not a set terminology. Some things are set, kind of. Like the word magic, Crowley was the one that put the K on the end, and that's become something that is just used when you discuss magic. It differentiates it from being card tricks, you know what I mean? But, you know, maybe I should lean more into that and just talk more about that, because I don't think anyone can give you shit about it because they don't understand what any of it means. You know? I know some of you guys do. I could talk to you about it, but it's just like when, you know, I wake up and I read something, you know, like I see a video about the guy on the grounds of the Nova Music Festival saying, this really happened. And for those of you who didn't say it, it didn't happen. You're the bad man, and we're going to prove to you it happened. It's like, well, why do you have to, if something's true, the truth doesn't need advocates. It just is. It's there. It's either we all see it, it's all evident, no one has to talk about it. There's a lot of stuff like that. But the way these people operate, war through deception, all they do is lie. All this shit is made up, you know. So they have to go on a campaign to try to sell you this bullshit, and then they fucking get mad at you if you don't automatically believe them. You know, and I'm telling you that they're pushing this new one now in a way that they're framing it like the other thing. And guys, you don't want people to start going, well, this is clearly bullshit. What about that other thing? Just be happy you got that other thing over. You know, maybe it doesn't mean as much anymore. I know Zoomers don't care about it as much, but you still get a lot of benefit from that. You know, a lot of laws are passed, a lot of things worked in your favor. You've gotten away with doing a lot of shit for many years because of that. Just be happy with that. If you try to make another one, and that's what they're doing now with this, it's going to get more and more crazy too. Like this thing is what he's like, this is where they beheaded all those children, And like the stories when they first started coming out, where they cook children in ovens in these apartments, they chop their head. I'm sorry to say this stuff, but this is coming from very sick minds of very sick people who've gone through along many hundreds of years of inbreeding. Makes you think this way. They cut kids' heads off and put them in the ovens. Just, no one would do that. No one would do that. No one would build a masturbation machine. No one would build a roller coaster that dumps you in a burning pit. People are going to see the similarities between these events. And most people know this is bullshit. So you don't want them questioning that other thing. Well, you know, it's illegal to do so in most places, so it's okay. They're just on the back foot right now. They're really desperate. I can't, I have to admit, I love watching it though. I love watching them unravel. It's not going to end up anywhere good. But, I mean, I think this has to happen because one of the things of Revelation, which, you know, whether we're in the little season or not, and we very well could be, they're acting like we're not. They're going through this Revelation script and playing all these parts out. We're watching it happen, you know? So, they're going to get to that point where they have to sacrifice a bunch of their own people. And I think that's going to be something that happens in culture. Like, they've been found out. They've been lying about all this stuff. You know, whatever. And they'll be punished in some way. A certain amount of them, you know, will be thrown under the bus by them. And the real guys, the real creeps, the main dudes who are doing all the shit will just, like, be able to keep on trucking. Something like that. Something like that. Again, it could be wrong. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. I was wrong about the solar eclipse erupting the Last of Us people. They are absolutely going to erupt. I just, you know, I had the wrong date. But they're going to erupt. Get that flamethrower. And don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.